Creating Sims is such a personal and unique experience. Not one simmer creates their Sims the exact same way, and there's no right or wrong way to come up with your creations. But with that said, I have been asked quite a bit to do an updated Create a Sim since the last time I did this video was back in 2019, and oh my goodness, have things changed. If you want to see how drastic the difference is for yourself, just go to my gallery, scroll all the way down to my very first creation, which was created in 2014, and slowly make your way up. You'll notice that we go from Max's Match down to a little bit of Alpha, and then we come out on the other side of the tunnel back into the wonderful world of Max's Match yet again. My main objective when creating a sim present day is just to create a sim that resembles a real life person, somebody that you could easily pass on the street and not necessarily a Barbie doll like I used to do. So this means focusing on a variety of different categories such as the Sim's personality, their wardrobe. I even try to get into their minds a little bit and think about who they would be as a person. This definitely creates a very immersive experience and keeps me interested in the character that I'm playing or creating for a little bit longer than normal. One of the things that I did say that I like to focus on is personality. Aspirations are a huge player when it comes to giving your sim depth. The unfortunate part is you might be feeling a little limited when it comes to aspirations just based on what packs you currently have in your Sims collection, or if you're like me and you've been playing The Sims 4 since 2014, these aspirations are, well, a little dated and played out. Now, here's the cool thing. Creators like UrbanSims and Kai have actually came up with custom aspirations to give your Sims an edge and maybe even your game a little extra challenge. For instance, a Sim can become a Black Widow, they could also become a corporate worker, or they could focus on things like, I don't know, self-care, or maybe possibly becoming a homewrecker. What is the point of having all these custom aspirations if your Sim doesn't even have the traits that reflect their interests? Well, thankfully, you're no longer just at the mercy of the packs that you own. UrbanSims has 97, and I'm not even joking, 97 custom traits that add so much personality to your Sims. We've got things like computer whiz, grandparent, hoops lover, handy, karaoke enthusiast, also things like master baker, makeup lover are all included in this bundle. Also, in addition, it will actually add gameplay by having your Sims have whims pertaining to whatever traits you assign. We need more trait slots, right? Here we have a trait mod that allows you to have up to 5 trait slots, and this was created by the Pancake One. Every age range is different. However, it is pretty static. After your Sim is a young adult, it will stay at 5 slots, but it will vary for all of the younger generations. Recently, the Sims team introduced likes and dislikes. Now, this isn't something I typically utilize. I might select a favorite color or two for my Sim, maybe even have a music genre preference, but other than that, I like to let my Sims kind of discover these things about themselves through just regular old gameplay. Typically, when it comes to selecting the type of walk style I am putting on a Sim, that will just depend on my overall end creation. I do feel like this is a little bit backwards as I tend to focus on the personality of the Sim after they've already been created, but never mind, I digress. So don't forget to pick a walk style. I feel like a lot of people just go with the regular default style, and that's totally fine. But when you are trying to create a Sim with personality and flair, maybe you want to break out of the social norms a little bit and just kind of play around with their walk styles. You'd be surprised how much of a personality kind of influx it creates. I really love just kind of hanging around the voice sliders. I just think it is so fun to hear my Sim talk, and I love to hear the different types of pitches and also, you know, tones of a Sim's voice. This definitely helps add in a lot of character as well. Now for the $1,000,000 question, what defaults do I use? You guys might be surprised, but I actually don't use any default skin to my personal knowledge. However, when it comes to ojitos, yes, your girl is on it. So we like to use the opal eyes here on my channel, and I don't know what it is about them, but they kind of create a little extra spark, maybe a hint of life, whereas the base game ones just kind of look very glazed over and lack, in my personal opinion, any sort of detail. Don't even get me started on the base game teeth. Oh my goodness gracious. I absolutely am quite honestly obsessed with Magic Bot's default teeth. I feel like when I am taking pictures or screenshots of my Sims, this just brings them to life. I love the different variations of teeth because very much in like real life, not everybody has the same set of choppas. Back in the day, your girl's skin details catalog was longer than your Christmas list to Santa, but recently I have been taking on the more minimalistic approach just to keep things simple. However, I do have some staples like this skin overlay by Dusty. I also really like the different Adam's apple variants by Make Sims. I also have additional things like hairlines or baby hairs and things of that nature just to add a little more realism. And another must-have in my personal opinion is the remove EA eyelashes option by Kajiko. Another must-have in my CC arsenal is custom content eyebrows. I don't really have a large selection, but I do really like this particular kit by Peachy Fairy as it features around 5 to 6 different eyebrows. Another absolute must-have for me personally is custom content facial hair. There's not very much variety in my personal opinion currently in game, and I just love having extra styles to kind of play around with. Another non-negotiable for me is body hair. Somebody please tell me why it has been I don't know how many freaking years, nearly a damn decade, and we still have hairless mole rats for Sims. Now I get it, not everybody and their mother has body hair, but the vast majority of Homo sapiens have some sort of fuzz on their body. But of course, Lumia over here came through with a set of a lifetime that has you covered, literally in hair. Even though I try really hard to keep my CC at a minimum, I cannot live without custom content clothing, shoes, accessories, hairs. The hairs that we have in game, I feel like are very limiting. And then also, I just love the ability to really center my sim around a hairstyle. I feel like this adds so much character value. Another thing that is a complete obsession of mine and I've been using for a really long time are the Kajiko eyelashes. Since I ridded my Sims of the EI eyelashes, sometimes I like to put them on, but honestly, I've found that it's not always completely necessary. In terms of makeup, I'm a little biased. I create custom content makeup, as I'm sure you guys have heard me say a million times, and I also just really like how this kind of fits into the overall game, or at least style of how I like to create my Sims. I always get asked if I can share my CC with you guys. Unfortunately, sharing your mods folder is against most creators' terms and conditions, so I can't. However, I usually shop for my CC on Maxis Match CC, which is on Tumblr, and then also I really love Ocean Sims' selections. Everything that she reblogs, I am like literally infatuated with. But if you guys want to see what I personally have shopped and have in my collection, then you can go to my Tumblr where I have reblogged all of these creations. Also, I did a video a couple weeks ago on some things that I recently hauled. Now for the fun part, how exactly do I create my Sims? I will be creating 2 Sims for you guys, male and female, in real time after I show you 2 of my latest creations. First, we have Dan Greenwood. Now, on the exterior, you'll notice he kind of looks like a guy that'll rough you up a little bit if you sneeze sideways on him, especially in this day and age. However, if you look over at his personality, you'll notice that he's a huge friend of the animals. Even though he once was a biker, a gnarly tattoo artist, and probably threw your uncle out of Patchy's Bar and Grill at once upon a time, he's moved on to more pure pursuits, and he actually wants to become a vet. I created him, put him up on the gallery, but I also made him CC free, so I have a couple extra slots where I could easily play around with these custom content traits just to kind of fatten him up a little bit. But another thing that kind of enhances, in my personal opinion, a Sim's appeal is their wardrobe. You know, a lot of people have preferences in the way that they dress, so it would make sense that your Sims would too. So you will notice that throughout Dan's wardrobe, he is a huge fan of the color black. He also has some pops of color in there, but overall his style is pretty edgy, rough and rugged, and truly is a reflection of Dan as a Sim. Our second Sim is Andrea Clark. She is a substitute teacher at Henford Elementary, and her personality kind of reflects her interests. Now, she definitely looks a lot older than what she is. She's only 30, but she has interests like being a bookworm. She's also very clumsy and a green fiend. Now, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and again kind of, you know, push her personality a little bit further and give her some of these custom traits, but because I wanted her to be CC free, I don't actually have any custom anything on her, and she's also available in the gallery. So for her wardrobe, again, we're kind of going for that more mature approach, right? You know, she doesn't dress like a 30-year-old would these days. But I like her outfits. Like, they definitely give me major like substitute teacher vibes. But as you can see throughout her wardrobe, one of my main goals was just kind of keeping everything consistent. And that is definitely a huge selling point when creating Sims that kind of replicate people, because again, as I said with Dan, most people have a preference when it comes to their fashion choices. Let's start off with a female Sim. I'm not going to get super elaborate with it, but I am going to show you guys a step-by-step process and how I create my Sim, from selecting their body type to kind of creating their facial structure and even choosing a wardrobe style for them. Do keep in mind, I do not use any sort of custom content sliders. And also, when I'm talking about body types, trust me, I'm well aware there are so many body types in the universe. I just kind of stick to like a formula and then I build off of that. And trust me, with sliders, the range of possibilities is truly endless. Also, side note, it is Tuesday. The landscapers are here, so you might hear some, you know, chopping of the wood, shedding of the grass. I totally apologize. It's going to be a huge distraction as we go through this video, but hopefully it's not too bad. All right, so I like to randomize my Sims until I get something that I feel like I could work with. I don't usually have a Sim in mind, but sometimes it kind of comes to me, and 9 times out of 10, the randomized Sims, they're okay, but you do definitely need to work on them. Sometimes you'll get lucky, which is great. So for once I've selected a Sim, I'll go ahead and remove all of their clothing, and the first thing I'll tackle is their body. So I'm gonna go and start off with like 3 bases. We've got slim, medium, and plus, but plus, in my personal opinion, is not this. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't plus to me, or plus size by any means. Like, I don't know. I wish the sliders went up more naturally. I wish they would, because I love portraying those body types. I think all bodies are beautiful. So just wish we had a little more range in that particular aspect, I guess. So, all right, we're going to start off with a slim body type. And I would like to give her just a little more structure. This is how I personally would style a Sim that has more of like a slim frame. Sometimes I'll start off with the thighs too, just to kind of balance those out a little bit, just depending on the randomization of the townie. But don't be afraid to play with all sliders. Like I said, there's so many different body types. Not one, you know, type of body is like the, I guess, norm. Everybody's different. Some people are really slim, have big butt, big breasts, all sorts of things. But yeah, I like to play around and just kind of create a body that I feel like suits the Sim that I'm going for. Sometimes I'll stretch out the shoulders. I'll make kind of like a square shape. Maybe I'll bring in the waist a little bit. Also playing around with the definition of the muscles can be kind of fun. It really does change the body. I'll even go down to the feet and create some detail there by either giving my Sim really large feet or really small feet. I feel like it adds character. Also, another thing, don't forget to play around with the arm sliders. These really help kind of bring forth the character to the body. And yeah, just make sure you play around with every slider setting, and don't be afraid to create different extremes too as well. Broad shoulders on a slim frame happens all the time. Also bringing them in too as well is kind of fun. Just like I said, play around, experiment. So we're gonna go for like a mid body type next. I would consider this maybe like a mid size. Like, again, that's kind of pushing it because I still think that's slim in my eyes. It's all relative, you know what I mean? But for this type of body, maybe I'll like kind of thicken up the thighs a little bit, also play around with the calves. I'll lower the, muscle definition. We'll kind of pull in the arms maybe just a little bit so that they're a little more proportionate to her body. Play around with the bust, maybe give her a butt, maybe not, just, like that's how I work it. So for a plus size sim, and also like pulling out the tummy too. I mean, not everybody has a flat tummy. Trust me, when I sit down, I look like a busted can of biscuits, but I'm okay with it because guess what? Your girl likes biscuits. So, just play around. Don't be afraid to do something different. It will really help in the end if you're trying to create unique sims. So here we go with our quote unquote plus size sim. This is not plus size by any freaking means. I actually had weight sliders that would really fare well and create even more voluptuous bodies. This really annoys me that this is the biggest, or I guess you could say the fullest sim can get. It's just annoying to me. So anyways, I really like her body as it is right now. Like, it's perfect. I feel like playing around with the sliders kind of set a great base for any type of body phase that she might go through. I don't know. So yeah, we can play around with the butt a little bit. We can elongate her tummy. Also, another thing that you can do is if you flip your sim to the side, you can actually go around and play with their posture, which I think is kind of cool. You can make them slouch. You can make them have immaculate posture. And it does have a little bit of a difference in the front. Nothing too crazy, but there is a slight little difference. And yeah, just wanted to go ahead and kind of like throw that out there. So I quite like this sim. I'm gonna go and build something off of her. I think when working on my Sims' face, the very first thing that I like to do, again, kind of following in suit with removing their articles of clothing, I like to take off their hair. Typically, I'll have like a hair pre-selected that I feel like will help me kind of build the character around that particular hairstyle. In this particular situation, I do not. So the next thing that I would do is first start working on the facial structure. So maybe going into the eyes and selecting an eye shape that I feel like suits my sim. Now, if I have a sim in mind already, maybe based on ethnicity or a character that I'm going for, I'll go ahead and kind of have a pre-existing notion of what they're going to look like. In this situation, again, because we're kind of winging it, I totally don't know what we're doing, so we're just going to kind of roll around the cast catalog a little bit and just see what we come up with. Next, after I kind of got the basic eye shape that I'm going for and color selected, I'll go and play around with the ears. So don't be afraid to get into detail mode. I know it's like an extra click, but trust me, there are magical wonders in there, especially if you're not using presets or sliders or anything. But in detail ear mode, if you click the little triangle thing and pull down, you can actually change the earlobe. And then if you rotate the ear back and forth or side to side, you can create a different position of where the ear sits. So you can get really, really, really custom with it. And I don't like flat ears, okay? So I'll typically pull my ears forward, or if I'm doing a sim quick, I'll just click the third ear option here on the catalog, and that kind of creates like a really intriguing like base shape for me that I can kind of work off of, or just completely leave it alone. Next, we're gonna keep her blonde, I guess, and I'm gonna go and select an eyebrow, but we're gonna play around with a different shade. So even if it Sim's blonde, I never do blonde eyebrows. I know some people do, but I don't. So that's just me. And then I'll kind of see what eyebrow I feel like fits the Sim's initial facial structure. But of course, like this could totally be subject to change. And even if an eyebrow is small, again, playing with those sliders really does help create a unique shape and makes all the things that you have in your game kind of stretch a little bit further. So I like this eyebrow shape on her. I'm going to play around with her eyes a little bit. If you go into detail mode, you can play with the size of the eyes, which can have a lot of fun, cool effects. The eyelid, I'll play with sometimes. Also the inner eye corner, you can like stretch those out a little bit. I think you can also control the position of the eye too. So if you wanted to create kind of like this, hazy eye look, you could do that. But I usually don't play with that too much. Just saying. So yeah, I think her eyes look pretty good as they are. Also, another fun little feature, if you go into the detail mode and click on your Sims's forehead, if you drag to the left and right, you can actually change their jaw structure. And then if you pull straight down or up, you can control kind of the length of their face as well as the length of their jaw. I love to create Sims with kind of round faces. I don't know what it is. I really like it for some reason. Also, play around with the presets too. I don't usually do this enough, but once I do, this actually helps a lot to create some pretty unique face shapes, because by default, I think we go with what we're used to, and we all have a style and, you know, that kind of a thing. And although that's great, I will admit, playing around with sliders, getting out of your comfort zone, creating Sims that you normally wouldn't, really does help develop range. So for noses, I'll play around. Again, I'll select a preset just depending on what type of Sim I'm creating. I do have a favorite. I like these noses. I actually kind of like all of the noses, to be honest, but this one's probably one of my personal favorites. And what I like to do is make sure that everything kind of looks proportionate, symmetrical, but not always. You know, sometimes I'll play around a little bit. We'll get a little funky with it, because again, like I said, everybody is literally different, but that's kind of what I like to do. Just kind of stretch out the nose bulb a little bit, play around with the nostrils. Once I've settled on the way that my Sim looks, of course, this could be subject to change as we go through the process of fully clothing her and all that jazz. I'll go on to the hairstyle of my choosing. Again, sometimes I'll have something pre-selected, or maybe I'll play around in the catalog to see if I find something that better suits my Sim. I personally think that this hairstyle looks amazing on her, but maybe I would change the color a little bit to give her kind of more of a dirty blonde hair color. Then I'll bring her to life furthermore by hopping into the skin details. Maybe I'll play around with a skin overlay, or add some definition to her face by adding in just natural forming creases on the forehead, cheeks, whatever. But I think today we're gonna go with the dusty Sims overlay, and then I might add in some freckles. Also, I have this really cool little mole pack that I love. I made it, but I don't know. I just think these moles can be super, I don't know, just character defining. I like the little mole on her nose, but there's also one that I kind of liked for, oh wait, there it is. Okay, her chin. See, I don't know. Just these really help bring a Sim character, in my personal opinion. I don't know how many times I could say that. So we're gonna give her some braces, because I don't know, it just fits the vibe. And then I think we're gonna go into accessories next. This is literally what I'll usually do. I'll just kind of lay down the foundation, and I will give her some eyelashes. And if I feel like my Sim just needs maybe a little extra tuning, I'll go ahead and kind of just do that a little bit, and voila. See, she's starting to come together. Okay, so next I would start selecting their wardrobe. Again, sometimes this is already predetermined, or other times it's just kind of like an experiment. I don't know why, but I almost could feel my Sim wearing a nice chunky sweater. Maybe she has more of a bohemian or just chill, normal, casual vibe to her. I don't know. Also, I like to play around with glasses. Sometimes glasses look good, but unfortunately that takes away her eyelashes. So we don't usually, if I have a Sim that I feel looks good in eyelashes, we don't usually play around with all the extra stuff. But I'll go and finish off her outfit. I think these high-waisted kind of bell-bottom pants are perfect. They're like boyfriend jeans. I don't know. I just think she's gorgeous. And then also another thing that I didn't mention is these, hold on a split second, nails. I have a couple nails that I go to, so I'll link those as well. But these nails, I think they're by Sinlika, are amazing. I really love using these. So we'll give her a nice dark kind of brick red to match her sweatshirt. And then we'll go for shoes. I'm not sure what shoes I want to use. I kind of like these ones a little bit. You can't really see them. And her feet look really small. So we'll just go and kind of, zhoosh those up a little bit. Oops. of course, that always happens. I just like removed her nails. And then I think we need to give her an accessory. Her arms are looking a little bare. I could definitely see her sim here wearing like a watch or something. Also, her ears are looking a little naked. So what I'll do is maybe throw in some cute earrings. I am like obsessed with these sunflower earrings. I think they are so sweet. And as you guys can see, she's already kind of developing her own little style. She's very casual, and that's okay. Sometimes my Sims aren't like super out there, but if I wanted to add a little more personality to her, we could give her like this cute little hat. And then once I've kind of decided what her wardrobe is going to look like, which is like this bohemian casual vibe, I don't really know what to call it, we'll go in and apply makeup. Even if my sim is someone who doesn't wear makeup, I feel like adding in some sort of dimension to the face, whether you're using in-game blush or custom content, is pretty much a staple in creating realistic life Sims. I do have a face paint, and it is called the Bloom Bronzer, that also adds extra definition. These custom content items that I create are fully slider compatible, so you can literally customize them to your choosing, but again, it just kind of depends all on what you're going for. So we're gonna move into eyeshadow. I might play around with something a little light, so we're gonna play with like this kind of muted brown color. And I think I might give her a lip. I don't know if I want to go with a blotted lip here. Ooh, I kind of like that actually on her. Like, I really like that on her. Maybe we'll lower the opacity so it's just kind of more of a stain. I don't know if I want to do something with a little more like color though. Yeah, I like that. Super cute. It's really adorable. I love her look. So we're pretty much done with her outfit and the way that she is going to look. Obviously, if you guys were creating the sim for personal use, you would finish out the rest of her outfits, but for time's sake, we're not going to do that. Now we're going to create a personality. Remember earlier I said that was a little backwards, showing you guys personality and how you can kind of make your sims a little more, I don't know, interesting. Yeah, I usually do this at the end. So sometimes I'll randomize a name just to see if I get something that I feel like suits the sim. If I get desperate, I'll look up something on Google. There's a lot of great names, but I saw earlier the name Lauren when I was randomizing her name, and I really liked it. I think it suits her. And then we will just go and do the same thing for, her last name. So Lauren Croft. I feel like that kind of fits. I don't know. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. You know what I mean? And I feel like Lauren, let's just like tap into her senses. I don't know. I feel like Lauren is maybe artsy or creative. What is there to choose in creativity? Musical genius, best-selling author, master flower arranger. I could see it. I could see her becoming a floral arranger. I don't know why. Maybe it's because she has a love for sunflowers or something. And then I'll play around with maybe some of her traits. So I think we could do green thumb because, again, she is really into floral arranging. Maybe she's a bit of a perfectionist. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. It just kind of depends on, how you look at it. Maybe Lauren really loves tea in the morning while she's flower arranging. That could be another good one. And then for hobbies, I'm pretty sure we might be able to find something that will go along with her aspiration. I'm not really seeing anything too crazy, but I could see Lauren being like a vegan too for some reason. I don't know. It just kind of all works. And then for social, maybe Lauren is somebody who is outgoing. She's friendly. You know what I mean? All right. So then we kind of have like a basis for Miss Lauren here. Let's go and play around with her walk style. I like to just kind of see whatever walk style fits my Sims. I don't think she'd be walking around like a tough guy or, like she's a little juiced or even sluggish. It just depends. Bouncy. Yeah, I could see it. I could see Lauren being, a little peppy, a little perky, a little jacked up on the tea. She just seems to have like a really bubbly personality, and I would absolutely love to get to know the sim. Next up, we are going to create a male sim. Now, for a lot of people, creating male sims is quite difficult, which is kind of crazy to me. It is so easy. easy for me personally to create a male sim versus a female one. It takes a lot less time for sure. I don't know what it is, but I love creating male sims. So I went ahead and randomized. I came up with a sim, but I also came up with an idea in mind. I want to create a sim who maybe grew up or possibly lives in the city. Now, when it comes to body types and sliders, all of the formulations that I showed you on the females will apply and cross over to the male sims. So make sure you watch at least the beginning part of how I created our sim Lauren Croft here, just to get the general idea of how my thought process goes. So right now he's kind of like a slim physique with a little bit of athletic definition. This is what he would look like mid-size. This is what he would look like plus size. So if I wanted to, I could keep him right about here because I feel like that kind of fits his physique. But then I'll play around with the chest too sometimes. And then you can actually pull out the chest to give them the illusion like they work out, or just maybe make them look a little more wide. Also playing around with the arm sliders is kind of fun. And then, you know, if you want to tuck in the hips a little bit, or the waist rather, and kind of create more of like a, what is it called? I forgot the name. Coke bottle waist, whatever that is. Definitely not what I was saying. Hourglass waist. There we go. You can do that too. Or maybe you can make them a little more square, play with the hips, tuck them in, however your heart desires. But definitely play with the sliders. Again, posture. This guy has like a super slouchy posture. We'll play with that a little bit. I'm actually going to push back in his chest. And I don't know. I just really like the way that his body is on his particular frame. So yeah, again, that's kind of my thing. And we'll move on to the eyes next. I don't know how I want to create this sim per se. I haven't really like decided his overall style, but I feel like I have kind of an idea on what type of ethnicity that I'm going for, but I don't want to say, because in case I'm wrong and somebody like jumps my throat, well, it wouldn't be a good time, and I'm trying to keep this video lighthearted. So, I don't know though. We're not, let's just say we're not doing a very good job. Things are looking a little rough right now. Ooh, I like those eyes. Okay, those are beautiful. Okay. All right, so we'll play with that. Next, we want to go in with, let me see, maybe an eyebrow. I'm not sure what type of eyebrow I want to give this sim. But again, even if you like the style of the eyebrow, but you don't like the shape, go into the detail mode and kind of play around a little bit to create an eyebrow that suits your sim better, in your opinion. Ears, I think right now we're just going to use the third category setting. For his nose, I'm not really feeling his nose for his particular face shape, so maybe I'll play around with something else. And then now the eyebrows are like completely thrown off. So it's definitely like a process. If you are finding yourself frustrated with the way a sim is looking, don't be. Just play around until you feel like you get it right, because again, it's just kind of all up to you and how you envision your sim. And like I said, the detail mode is literally your best freaking friend when creating a sim. So I kind of like the way, I love his nose. Oh God. The way he's going. And I think I'm going to kind of switch up his profile a little bit. Next, we're going to go into hair. I don't know what kind of hairstyle I want to give him exactly. I have an outfit in mind, but I don't know if it's going to be hat friendly. So what I'm going to do is go and pick out his outfit next. Maybe I'll give him this really cool bomber jacket. I could kind of see him playing around with some color for sure. When it comes to creating outfits, honestly, don't be afraid to mix and match. I feel like adding sims with really unique and quirky styles into your game just again kind of adds a little bit of fun and color. For our particular sim here, I don't know what pants he's gonna wear. I'm having a hard time kind of just figuring out something that I feel fits, but let me see if we can kind of scroll down a little bit and find something. I do believe there was a pair of pants, I lost it though, that I kind of liked. So I really think these ones look pretty damn good. Actually, this overall outfit is a total vibe for me. Again, I was kind of going for like a more like city slicker vibe, if that's even a thing. But it doesn't have to be exactly how I envisioned it. Now I could totally see the sim wearing like a hat or like some earphones, not these ones because they look ridiculous. So maybe we'll go for like a beanie or something instead. Maybe I'll give him like a little chain to wear. I'm really liking how he's turning out so far, but I did want to go in and add in some skin details. So I think what we're gonna do is add in an Adam's apple. I really do like this freaking overlay for my Sims. Like, I am quite honestly obsessed. He looks good without it, but I don't know. I'm like starting to really like gravitate towards this overlay. I maybe want to give him some acne, but unfortunately with the overlay it doesn't seem like that is going to be a thing. All right, so never mind, no acne for him. Maybe some facial hair though, maybe a little bit of facial hair. I don't know what kind. Maybe we could just do, oh no, hell no, oh god no, he looks like he dipped his chin in an ashtray. We're not down for it, but maybe this one. Oh my god, he's so cute. Yes. Now I'm not gonna lie, like these headphones are a little large and in charge. Like, I'm not sure if I'm vibing the phones. Maybe we could give him like a hat like this. I don't know. I've never used this hat before in my life. Why start now? Has any do you like that hat? Just let me know. Like, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. All right, you know what? Maybe what we'll do instead of throwing on the headphones, which look outrageous, we'll just give him a little beanie instead. So I kind of like the way that looks. Okay, cool. And you know what? I'm not afraid to give him some damn earrings. Let's do it. It just, I don't know, it suits him for some reason. Also, like a nose ring. Oh, he fine. Okay, actually, you know what? We'll just go with the earrings, and then sometimes I just like to use these little, like, you know, studs. I thought those look cute. And I don't know if he needs some teeth. Let's check what teeth he has. So he has these ones right here. I could kind of see him maybe having not so perfect teeth. Maybe he has like two front teeth, like a little, like, I don't know what they're called. Like, what are they called? Bunny teeth? I don't know. I have them kind of, sort of. So I don't know what they're called. Maybe these ones. Here we go. All right. So add a little bit of definition there. Don't have to. It's not completely necessary. But yeah, there's our sim. I also feel like in a way, like in a slight, tiny, teensy, tiny way, he would have like a tattoo on his arm. I don't know. But there is our sim who loves to live in the city. So because he does love to live in the city, I'm going to go around and play with location a little bit. We're going to have him be a city native. I can totally see him being like a bro, maybe really, really into dance. But also, let's see what other things that we can give him. Maybe he's an art lover. Wait, hold on. Did it remove one? Okay, so maybe he's like an art lover, or he could be like an artist, possibly. I could also see him kind of being into gaming too as well. And then maybe he's a little squeamish, so he, like, his stomach gets upset very, very easily. And yeah, I really love him. He's so cute. Okay, so for his walk style, I don't know if he'd be perky or snooty. I could see him having a little bit of swagger, maybe a little too much confidence. I didn't really play with Lauren's voice in that because my volume's down, so it's not something I totally thought about. But hold on.
Oh, Sangula Bates, Melvoy Bifose.
I'm trying to think.
Shlopa.
Okay, I like.
What is
Okay, I feel like that's pretty good for him. So let's give our dude a name, Eli. Perfect. Right on the first try. Eli McLeod, Eli Kinsley, Eli Tyler. I kind of like it. Eli Tyler. It's a vibe. I think that's pretty much a wrap on this video. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you stood with me till the very end, drop a random emoji in the comments. I want to see who my real ride or dies are. You know what I'm saying? Because this video was super duper long, but I feel like it was packed full of information. But of course, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to ask them in the comments down below, as well as all of the custom content and CC and all that jazz of things that I use to create the Sims that I created in this video, or just in general. I'll have those on my website at XUrbanSimsX.com. And with that said, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. And if you did, you know what to do, but don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, where the sun doesn't shine. And I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.